Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a recap on the March 10th, 2026 severe weather outbreak. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to first get started by taking a look at our convective outlooks issued by the National Weather Service the day of the events that took place in Illinois and Indiana. So as you can see, we have a pretty large enhanced risk over parts of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, and parts of Michigan. This was issued around 7:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time on March 10th. Our tornado risk was already looking pretty good. As the morning progressed, we were sitting at a 10% level intensity 2 for tornadoes. Our damaging wind graphic wasn't really looking that strong. There was a higher risk down in Texas that morning, but we were only sitting in the 15% with no hatched markings. And then our large hail graphic was looking pretty good. It was a level 1 intensity, 30%. And so now let's move a little bit further into the day. So right here this was issued around, I would believe it was about 2 p.m. I might be wrong on that, but it was before storms fired. We had a moderate risk issued for just Illinois and Indiana, with enhanced risk staying in the same spot. Our tornado risk was upgraded up to a 15%, and we kept the level 2 intensity hashed marks. Our wind graphic was the same, and so was our hail graphic. So we'll take a look real quick at a close-up image of the categorical risk. So as you can see, our enhanced risk included places such as Peoria, Kankakee, Lake Village, and I believe even Rensselaer, Indiana was in this warning area, with the enhanced risk stretching out towards Michigan and Missouri, as previously mentioned. So now let's take a look at the damage that this outbreak caused. So we will be focusing on areas within the Chicago area. So we won't be focusing on these. We'll be mainly focused on the Lake Village tornado. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. So the tornado started on the southwest side of Kankakee with varying levels of intensibility. I think that's the right word. It started out creating just EF0 damage to trees, but then slightly intensified as it crossed US 45 and went right near the community college around here. And as you can see, there are plenty of spots of EF1 damage and EF2 damage. So let's take a look. So we're currently looking at a 1 to 2 family residence. Most walls were collapsed except for small interior rooms. This is being given EF2 with 135 mile an hour winds. So let's take a look and see. I guess nothing was attached, no picture. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of this residence from before the damage occurred, because that'll help us determine really what kind of structure we're dealing with. Let's see, right off of US 45. I believe I found it. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay, so here's our residence. This is the exact one that earned the EF2 damage indicator, and it appears to be a single-family residence of I would think it would be decently old. So this again is the building that earned the EF2 135 rating here in Kankakee. So let's see. Let's go back to our assessment toolkit. So it says here that most walls were collapsed except for small interior rooms, and I would think that it could get a stronger rating, but I suppose not. So, all right, let's go back to the tornado. So the tornado crossed US 45, hit what is believed a single family residence, and then crossed right here. I don't know if there's anything here. I don't think there is. But then it crossed Interstate 57, and at this point, the tornado was intensifying. It was intensifying quickly. Videos from the area do show very strong movement in the tornado rotation and the wall cloud that was present with this tornado. It then crossed, what is this? It then crossed the Kankakee River, where it produced some more EF2 level damage. A 1 to 2 family residence had exterior walls collapsed. And this one does have a picture. And that does look maybe closer to EF3 damage. It was given only 125. But yes, it intensified, and then it veered south a little bit after veering north, crossed the river again, where it produced EF3 level damage with 145 mile an hour wind speeds. Wow, we have a lot of images here. And it appears that this building was completely collapsed in some parts, just leaving a slab. You could see foundation bricks here, which made up part of the basement. We could see this must have been some kind of garden apartment, possibly. Let's see. So another 1 to 2 family residence with all walls collapsed. And then we have next door, another EF3 rating. This is 150 mile an hour wind speed rating. And as we could see, we have just a slab here. So the reason why the damage indicator is not higher is because this building must have been built weaker than, only to withstand maybe 140 mile an hour winds. And we had 150 come through here, which swept the foundation clean and left very little debris. And then we have one more down here. This is EF3 145. Let's see what we can get. Appears to be just another set of walls were collapsed. So then the tornado veered north as it went over the golf course here. And this is at the point where it was being issued a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning. We'll get a little bit further on the warnings and radar on a little bit. So it then crossed a bunch of fields with still varying intensity. I do believe that it was pretty strong at this point, but it wasn't really hitting anything. It then crossed into Indiana, where it was being seen as a wedge tornado, and it caused some EF2 level damage on the far west side of Lake Village, Indiana. Still veering north as it got closer to US 41, where it then caused a bunch of EF2 damage on the south side of Lake Village. It also did cause some pretty significant tree damage, mostly toppling over trees and a little bit of debarking. But some notable DIs down here are of the Family Dollar. Family Dollar and the gas station next door to it had the entire front part of the store removed, and most of the roof was gone as well. This, unfortunately, was where 3 fatalities occurred in Lake Village. So then the tornado pulled decently hard north and crossed this intersection, did some more tree damage. And it is believed that this may be a failed occlusion as it reached up towards the Thayer area, because 2 spots of rotation were found on radar, but we don't believe that 2 tornadoes were on the ground at the same time. The damage does not support that theory. So then the tornado kept going. It went between Thayer and Indiana Route 10, and then started going north as it got close to Roselawn, crossed I-65, and hit Forest City, where it then lifted. So once the tornado lifted, it recycled and the storm formed a new mesocyclone and dropped another tornado to the southeast of DeMont, Indiana, where it only caused EF1 level damage as it passed to the south of Stoutsburg and Wheatfield. It kept going up towards the northeast, where it then lifted again. The storm recycled and dropped an EF2 just to south of Riverside, and kept going up towards Jackson, Indiana, and lifted right to the northwest of Knox, right near Indian Hill. And this tornado, I do believe, caused a tornado emergency to be issued for Knox, Indiana, but there was no reported damage in Knox. So then the supercell actually kept going all the way up through the night, and it kept producing rotations, but I do not believe that it dropped any more tornadoes after Knox. So now let's take a look at our radar data. This is decently low quality, but it still will show the supercell and its life. So currently the radar set. The current time is 3:20 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The supercell formed at 3:25 to the west of Bloomington, Illinois. It showed up very weak on radar. Most people were concerned with this cluster up here, but as it kept going, as we hit more towards 4 o'clock, it really started to intensify and ramp up with hail and wind as 4 o'clock struck, and it started making its way towards Pontiac, Illinois, which is right here. And as it neared Pontiac, the first tornado warning got issued, and a brief spin-up tornado touched down just to the north of Pontiac, Illinois. No damage was reported with that, however. And so it was tornado warned for quite a while after, but the supercell started veering east and speeding up a little bit, and then the rotation went away pretty much entirely. And so around this time, this is about, I think, 5:30 Central Daylight Time, this supercell wasn't believed to create anymore. It was believed to be dead. But as it neared Kankakee, it started forming a hook, and it got issued a tornado warning. And that's when the Kankakee Lake Village tornado touched down. And so it was right about here. Um, I believe the tornado touched down. And so this supercell was really impressive on radar. It was very textbook. It had a nice hook to it. It had a very large and strong hail core with it. This supercell dropped hail in excess of 5 inches on Kankakee, Illinois, which caused some pretty considerable damage over there. So this is as the tornado crossed I-65 and then lifted soon after. It then dropped one more tornado right near DeMont, and it passed Wheatfield, and then the Knox tornado touched down, and then lifted pretty soon after. So now we're gonna follow. So take in mind, this supercell formed right here west of Bloomington around 3:30 p.m. It is now, what is it? It's maybe 9 p.m. I'm not good with the conversion, unfortunately. But yeah, it's maybe 9 p.m. and this supercell is still going. As you can see, it's entering the South Bend area, and it just kept trucking along. And once it crossed into Michigan, it was past 10 p.m. Central Time, and it finally fizzled out. At least according to this, it finally fizzled out at 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So it was around from... So it was around about 7.5 hours, and it dropped at least 4 tornadoes. I believe 4... Well, we know 3 have been confirmed. We don't know if there's any more that have been confirmed yet. So this tornado, quick stats, it killed 3 and injured 11, mostly in the Lake Village area. So let's take a look and see. I have some resources here. So we're gonna start off with the radar scan as it touched down. So as you can see, here's your tornado warning right here in the red. This, I believe, it might have had a PDS tornado warning issued on it at this time. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look into it. But as you could see, very strong hail core and very textbook hook showing very strong rotation. So let's take a look. As I mentioned, very strong hail core with that. Here's some of the hailstones that it dropped near Kankakee, and it caused some pretty considerable damage. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So you can see there's just baseballs, and in some cases even softballs just sitting on the ground. But you know, car windows, most if not all car windows in Kankakee were blown out by this hail, which is really not surprising when you have hail that big. And then I thought I had one more picture. I do. Right here. This is some damage that storm chasers took on while in Kankakee. So you can even see, you know, massive webbing on the windshield due to the hail. So now let's move on to... Let's move back to the tornado again. So let's see. So this is something that was issued, or not issued, but posted a little while later. This was right before the tornado crossed into Indiana, right as it went north of Hopkins Park. You could see the whole storm really intensified. It really started to wrap up. The velocity signature was really strong at this point, and the hail core was really strong. And again, it was still dropping, you know, 5-inch hail at this point. Um, so let's see. I thought I had another one. Let's see. Here we go. Here's a closer image the of the radar signatures. So as you can see, we had a very strong couplet, and at this time, it was being shown as a wedge. And right after this was taken, this picture was taken right as the tornado was crossing into Indiana. So, but before this, it it had more of a stovepipe and multi-vortex at times, I will say, mainly stovepipe look to it, but it was still very intense. We had a very low wall cloud, very fast moving, but it was intensifying quickly. It went from this just outside of Kankakee to this right near Hopkins Park, a very large stovepipe, which then intensified into this wedge tornado. So let's see. So now we're to the point where the tornado was entering Lake Village. Chasers were reporting a mile-wide wedge back to everybody, and by the looks of it, it does look like a mile-wide wedge based in this picture. Its final width was given 1,000 yards, which is just over half a mile wide, and so the tornado entered Lake Village at what I believe to be nearly peak strength, because as we can see, there's a bunch of debris in this ditch, and there's even an Ford Econoline van, which these vans weigh in excess of 5,000 pounds, so it's really not easy to get it, to throw it in the ditch, but it did it anyways. And so we could see a little bit of debarking on this tree right around a bunch of houses that are just gone. This was taken on the far west side of Lake Village. Let's see. I believe I have more pictures of the damage. So, and then this is out of downtown Lake Village, right near that Family Dollar. So we have a bunch of down power lines draped with debris. And then here's the Family Dollar. Right here's the Welcome to Lake Village sign right off of US 41. And I don't know if there was something on top of here or if this is from something else. It could be from something else. There was also a gas station in this area that had some of the canopies ripped off. Let's see. I might be able to find it. Right here. No attachments found. Okay. But yeah, it says here, gas station with the canopy completely collapsed and part of the roof structure was also removed. So yeah, I do know the canopy was resting on the ground. I believe it was even resting on top of somebody's vehicle. So once the tornado left Lake Village, it kind of shrunk down. Let's see. That's the Wheatfield tornado. Here it is. So this is, I believe, as the tornado went between Route 10 and Thayer, Indiana. It shrunk down a lot, but it was still kind of strong. And then this was right as the tornado left Lake Village. I don't know how much can be seen on there, but it definitely is bigger. So let's see, what is this? Oh, this is from... Okay, so this is actually from later in the day. Let's see, 8:30. So the Lake Village tornado had already finished, and I believe the Knox tornado was in progress at this time. And you could see the supercell is still ongoing, but there was a bunch of severe thunderstorms in a line behind this isolated supercell. So I believe that is kind of what killed it off, was the front hit it and it weakened. So let's see. Right after this is right as the Roselawn Lake Village tornado was finished. The first area of rotation. This here is the Lake Village tornado, but this down here is the Wheatfield tornado. So what the storm was doing was it was kind of doing a handoff. It was kind of getting rid of its old mesocyclone that had the Lake Village tornado, and was making a new, possibly stronger mesocyclone which harbored the Wheatfield tornado. So very interesting to look at that. But we do know that there weren't two tornadoes on the ground at once. Those just the one. This one dissipated, and then this one touched down soon after. So here's our storm reports. This was updated the next day. So a few tornado reports, but I do believe that there were a few. Oh, yep, hail reports. There's quite a few, even up towards the Chicago area. There were quite a few hail reports. So right here is the information regarding the tornado emergency issued for Knox. The tornado ended up lifting right about here. So it luckily missed Knox, but there was a confirmed tornado at the time. So I do believe that is everything that I have in terms of information. If I do get any more, I will definitely make an update video, or I'll make a post. So I hope this was informative, and I hope you guys can be safe. All right, bye guys.